So right now I'm just trying to work with my Twitter. I think what I can do, I can ask if they can't hear you since they're not logged into Podbeam, then
Do
I
what
can
you
kind of rephrase what you're saying. How
That's
about
what
that?
you did. You did that last time, and it was brilliant the way you did that.
Oh, thank you.
So just do
I
that.
swear we're sisters. We just separated at birth.
Absolutely, absolutely.
All right, so let's go ahead and get this started. Thank you, everyone, for joining me today. And if you are joining me through Twitter Spaces or through Podbean on the PC or the app or what have you, thank you so much. This is one of my podcast shows, which is Nichel Anderson Short Stories and Beyond, which I do have another podcast show, and it's Surviving Your Journey Towards Success. We're going to go ahead and start this one through a couple of things. So today's topic is about, of course, how to say I love you regarding relationships. And somebody's asked to want to be a speaker. Really? Okay. Give me a couple moments. But I do have already some guest speakers that is joining me now. They're only able to get on Podbean. So what I'm going to do initially is repost or retweet, that link into Podbean. It's real easy if you have the app, and therefore you can hear them, give their answers and we can move forward. I was hoping I can link all this together, but it does seem if through Podbean, I'm not going to be able to let you hear what they are actually saying if you're not logged into the Podbean Live. But in Twitter, you should be able to hear me. And then I'm just going to rephrase what my guests are saying. And in a moment, I will tweet that link to my Podbean Live. If not, it's on my Twitter page where you should see the event. And I provided that link to get to my Podbean Live show right now. All right, so just a little bit about me. Earlier, I just mentioned I'm a podcast host of 2 shows. This particular topic is focusing more on my short stories regarding my book that I Love Egypt. And it's about love, it's about relationships. And me personally, as a writer, author, a producer, and I also do creative work. In that, it's always my mission to try to create things that give a higher understanding of what we're dealing with on our journey. And definitely with Mitzrayim, my book, it's about relationships and how we learn during the course of that journey to not only love and care for ourselves so we can know how we can love someone else, but how we can move forward and find that, that higher type elevation of love, of expression. I always feel that love is not really, it's not anything that takes away. It's about giving. And when you give, you come back and you receive. So today we're going to focus on how to say I love you. I think it was a great idea from one of my guests, Laszlo. He's going to introduce himself in a moment, where he mentioned that, that's a really good topic to kind of focus on because it's hard to do. And I thought that was interesting. I never would thought that it would be in a way, but this is how we can kind of talk about it to our perspective and go through those main 3 topic questions that I put on my promotion ad about this event. So without further ado, let's go ahead and go to one of my guest speakers. Laszlo, you want to go ahead and introduce yourself? Can you hear me? Oops, are you on mute? Okay, go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry, I was on mute. Oh, whoops. Thank you for having me on the show, Nichel, as always.
Oh, can you get close to the mic? Laszlo, I think you're not. Are you close to the mic? It sounds like you're far away.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, now I can. Go ahead.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Oh, you're perfect. I love it. Go ahead.
Okay, great. All right. So once again, thank you for having me on the podcast show. Yes, so my name is Laszlo Heckler. I'm from New York. Motivational speaker, businessman, teacher, and of course, a student for life.
Love it. And I have my next guest speaker. I love her, Dr. Amber. She's from the UK. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Brilliant. So my name's Dr. Amber Q. I'm from London in the UK, and I am a dentist, author, and speaker and founder of the 7-Win unique methodology for success in business and in life. I'm also a podcaster, and my podcast show is called Inside Out Smile. And
I
I'm
love it.
delighted to be here. So thank you, Michelle.
Thank you. I love it. All right. Let's get into this. But before I do, I'm really curious of why you think, Laszlo, this is jumping ahead of my main three questions. Why you think it was, you mentioned that, in our last live show, why do you think it was hard? Oh, thank you. You from Iran? Wow. Thank you so much. I
I'm not
appreciate you. We're going to get you talking in a minute. I would love to know your perspective. Is it pronounced I am? I am from Iran. Thank you. All right. Laszlo, why do you
Yes.
mention that you think you was mentioning that you feel that it's hard to say that? I'm really curious to know, as a woman, how your perspective as a man. Why do you think it's hard to say that I love you?
Well, I mean, okay, so when you think about it, it doesn't sound hard. I mean, anybody can say it, but when you're saying it to somebody you like or somebody that you love or somebody that you want to get into a relationship with, you know, then there's all this conflict, internal conflict, whether or not how she's going to receive that information. Is it going to be backlash? Is it going to go the right way? Then you got uh, society pressure on you as well, social media pressure on you as well. Um, and you got to figure out, okay, how do I say it? Do I just bluntly say it, or do I say it in a particular way? So it's not as easy as it sounds,
Mm.
um, if you really think about it. I do have
Well,
some experience about that myself, but
overall,
um,
what do you think that's the main reason? Do you think it's like gender, or is this
I
overall your
I don't
experience? Go ahead.
I don't think it has to do with gender. I mean, I know women that are very shy and have a hard time saying it, and they like to have the men say it first.
Yeah.
I think in general, once you're in a relationship, saying I love you is easy. But
Mm,
before you're in a relationship, it's very difficult. Nobody likes to be rejected, right?
right.
And if I say I love you and I don't get it in return,
Mm,
there's an embarrassment level to it too,
okay.
right? How many times do you have nightmares saying, "Oh my God, if I say I love her, she's going to say thank you or okay." That's not the right word that you want to hear. So, there's a lot of pressure and a lot of stress that goes along with saying those words, and
Mm,
timing too. So it's not as easy.
I get that. I think for me, right quick is maybe it's. I would say when in the beginning I was a very shy person. So what I'm doing now is like, okay, I guess my teacher was right. Like, no, Michelle, you have to use your skill set and, and continue to, strive, for what you don't see doesn't mean it's not going to happen. Cause I used to be very afraid to kind of speak my mind and say what I need to say. Now, of course, that's not a problem. But nonetheless, I can see what you're saying. You might be embarrassed to actually say how you feel to someone because of their rejection. That's basically what you were saying, right? Let's go.
Absolutely, yeah.
And then that falls into the emotions of, embarrassment or even stress, especially if you really care about that person. It's your first time that you're expressing yourself. I think for me, over time, I got away from being shy. And if I'm really, into that person and we're reconnecting, I notice that I feel more comfortable saying those words where the other person, he might feel like, he's saying it, but he's not sure. I don't know. Maybe it's the energy thing. Maybe I'm just too deep sometimes. I don't know.
I mean, it
Over
definitely is
time,
an energy thing. There's no question about that. You
it
are
has
totally right
it's a
about
lot
that.
of power when you say those words to somebody.
Absolutely.
Right.
And both of
Right.
you have to have that energy. If
Right.
only one hasn't it, it's very difficult to reciprocate with the I love you back.
You know what? That's deep because the power of that, of saying I always felt the word love is a very powerful word when I was growing up in different interactions, different relationships or what have you. They would say the word, but their behavior wouldn't represent that. And they'll say, well, that's love too. And I had to learn the hard way. No, it's not. Love is pure and it is positive and it has a different vibration. That's what that energy that I think what me and you was talking about, Lasco. And perhaps that's why when we're going on this journey and we're experiencing a relationship with someone and we feel that when we say it and we hear it back, it could be a discrepancy in that. So let's kind of move to my first question, which is, how do we say I love you to the person that's our sweetheart? And the follow-up question to that is, what should we not do? Before I answer my perspective, and then I'll ask my guests, and then I will ask the people that are joining in on Podbean. So, Dr. Amber, you want to go first to that?
Sure. I think really it's so interesting because
Yeah.
A lot of communication is non-verbal. Most of it's non-verbal, only a small part is verbal. So to me, somebody's actions will show whether or not they love you. And you would have seen that behavior before you actually choose to say the words. And, obviously the vibrational energy rises to that sort of, I guess, crescendo. And then you would say, love you. So, I mean, for me, how do we say I love you is really, it's the little things that we do, right? So
Yeah.
is the person cold? Are they hungry? It's kind of, it's all that kind of sort of caring for the person, listening. So it's those little actions. And,
Right.
and conversely, what not to do is not to be, not to listen and not to be inconsiderate,
Right.
And so for me, that kind of goes hand in hand because we love is really sort of how that someone makes us feel and how we
Right.
make them feel, which comes down to how we behave around them and what we do, right?
Right.
So for me, it would be, I would say actions always speak louder than words. A lot of people use the word "I love you." It's so funny. There's an Islamic scholar who says that these days, sometimes "I love you" means "I want to use you." And and I think that that can be true. That can be true. So I think actions always speak louder than words. So for me, I would say it via my actions.
Yeah, I think you get two sides to that. The person that doesn't understand, the person that is taking "I love you" and then using that in a way that doesn't really represent what love is.
Mm.
So yeah, I think I can agree with you. Said he was a professor that mentioned that said that "I love you" now can mean also I use you in the front of that person, that particular person. That's what you were saying, right?
Yeah,
That's how
he
they
was
was.
an
Yeah, go
Islamic
ahead.
scholar. So he was saying in
Islamic
terms of
scholar. Okay.
guys and girls and how girls, some girls will swoon when they just hear, because people are just starving for affection, love, attention. So when they hear
Yeah.
those words, it can be, used destructively, let's say.
Right. Love is the purpose of the positive energy and the giving, the 360, I like to say. So anything is not of that, then it won't really work. So basically, just to recap what you're saying, for those that are listening through Twitter, is Dr. Emma was mentioning about how she would answer that question, how to say that I love you to your sweetheart, is basically communication, action, nonverbal.
Mm-hmm.
And that should represent the behavior. And then by just saying the word, just to recap what you were saying, Dr. Amber, I love you gives you that vibration. So eventually we'll be able to see representative of that in that behavior. So when you say I love you, you have that understanding. So I'm kind of adding on to what you're saying, Dr. Amber, but
Absolutely.
basically that love, when you say I love you, you have to be in the right mindset to say it, because basically up to now, what we're talking about and getting to really dig into it, it's a vibration. That's why I think what Laszlo was saying earlier when we started my show
Yeah.
is that it can be kind of, intimidating in a way, because what if you do, what if you get that rejection? What if you don't get the person to say it back to you? the stress that leads up to when you have to say it. So how can you say it is when you at a point that you know how you feel. Because at the end of the day, we can't really control the other person, but at least you're humble enough to realize that this is what I want to express. I think when you say I love you, you're basically giving that person the message that is, from your heart, and you feel comfortable about it. And of course, the result would be wonderful, but if they person say it back to you, but how you could just say it to your sweetheart is basically just being open enough. I think you gotta come, like, I don't know, like to a place where you're comfortable.
But isn't
You're
that whole thing about,
right,
love is unconditional? So,
right,
say it and then to expect somebody to say it back, because you could have, I mean, I don't mean to bring the tone down, but in case
yeah,
of domestic abuse, the guy
right,
will possibly, it could be the girl hitting the guy, but, the guy
yeah,
hitting the girl or whatever, one
yeah.
partner abusing the other, and then saying, "Oh, I love you," and they, could be their definition of love, because everyone's
You know
definition
what?
is
That's what in their mind they think that it is when they're in a type of relationship that
different.
is like that. So that's where I think we have to love ourselves, and therefore we will know how to say I love you and actually implement it in the action that you were saying, Dr. Amber, to somebody else. That's how you say it, because you already at that point where it's okay, even if you hope that that person would say it back to you, or you just want to say it to that person in a regard that they understand how you feel, because
Yeah,
it is a very big statement, right?
yeah, yeah. And I think sometimes it can just, even slip out because you have those actions, whether
Yeah,
it's male or
emotions is
female.
power.
Yeah, because I mean, there are different types of love, of course, as well. But I mean, generally, if those actions are proceeding, then you might just say it just because you're just expressing that energy that's
Right,
flowing from you towards that
right.
person. So,
Yeah, I think for me, how I would answer that, how to say I
mhm.
love you to your sweetheart, is just like you're saying. You have to show it. It can be, to me, I love the eye contact.
Mhm.
I love when someone is actually is we're communicating in a way that you don't really have to say a lot, because you feel that vibe,
Yeah,
and the person is looking soul to soul eyes, and we're having this conversation, and the person says it, and you can feel that the person mean it, in a sense that we're having this interaction, and then of course the behavior after that, because that's key.
absolutely.
Because that's, to me, is reinforcement of the love that the person said that they have for me.
Yeah.
Right. All right. Now we have someone in the chat. He said he's from Iran. Do you want to speak to say what you feel like, how to say I love you? You could type in the chat. I don't want to put you on the spot. Or you could just type in the, what do you think? How can you say I love you? What do you think? If you, I'm not sure if you're on the mute, but if you do want to go ahead and respond, you can. In the meantime, we're going to move on to the second question, which is, give me a moment, y'all. We kind of already touched on this, Dr. Amber. So basically it says, how do we show? That's what I wanted to know. How do we show that we truly love that person? I'm just going to start up, and then we'll work our way to Laszlo, and then we'll get back to you, Dr. Amber.
Mhm.
So to me, I like when you had mentioned earlier about listening. I love that. To me, that's, of course, is part of communication. But when you're in a relationship and the person remembers the conversation that you had, it could be something that your preference, that you were saying that you prefer this or you like that, or anything that it was really important to you, and that the person that you with understands that, and he brings it up, right?
Mhm.
And he does it in a way that you're having a really good heart to heart conversation. I don't know, for me as a woman, I like the conversation part, and I like to know that you're bringing something up in the sense that you was listening to the last conversation. So to me, it's a way of showing that you care about how I'm feeling. That is showing that you love me, because you're in the moment, and moments matter. So I'm going to give you the mic. Laszlo,
Yes. Yeah.
how do we show we truly love that person?
Yes. So it's kind of funny because the "I love you." It's not like it's not like a sports car. It doesn't go 0 to 60 in 3 seconds. It's something that we got to work on. I think of it more of like, and I agree with Dr. Amber and you too as well. It really comes down to the actions. Take a look at a tree, for example, right? It can't bear fruit until the roots have been firmly planted within the ground, right? For that to happen, what must we do? We must work, right? So the I
Right.
love you would come when? When the tree bears fruit. That is the crescendo. That is when you say I love you. So that's how that works. So with the little actions both of you put in together, that tree will grow and it should bear fruit. And when it does, that's when you both say I love you to each other. Well, that's the
Right.
way I think it should work. And that's really how you know is by those little actions. Because you don't just wake up one day, see a woman and say, "Oh, I love you." That just doesn't work like that. It just doesn't. So I mean, there's got to be foundation before that "I love you" part. You know, there's got to be work. And if there isn't, then and that's not just romantic love. I'm talking about all kinds of love because love isn't easy. It
I think that
requires
was a
work.
song too.
I believe it is a song,
It is. It's not
but
easy. It's definitely
it's
a
not.
journey. That's for sure.
It definitely requires work. It's that simple. And if people think otherwise, uh, they're gonna have a tougher time.
When they value the commitment of the relationship, they'll know how to show the love that they feel for that person. It will not be any from a perspective of taking. It will be from the position of understanding what the foundation is that started the seed that will grow the harvest, and then it will be what love's supposed to be. And as you mentioned, it's not just romantic love, of course, but all types of interaction relationship that you have with someone else. But yeah, you can
Yeah,
show that you
exactly.
love that, right?
Same thing with parents. You don't just say "I love you" unless there's what a nurturing relationship, right? I mean, take a look at me, for example. I didn't just wake up one day and say, "Oh, I love you, mom and dad." When I was born, it was through all that hard work and nurturing, and then we were able to say those words. If you don't have the good relationship, good foundation, good work, it's not easy saying those words.
And I think some of that can be, if we go back to in a romantic type relationship, spending quality time. I don't think it's about that you have to spend a lot. I think it's just the quality time that you spend with one another, that you're learning from one another. Because I think it's still a journey that you're sharing
Right.
this love between someone else, because you're sharing, your life journey with someone else, even if it's just a relationship, if it's dating, what have you, or even if it's marriage, so forth, that you in an agreement to explore and to experience, the greatness that what love to me is tended to be. It's a learning opportunity, and it's a wonderful experience when everything is working the way it should be. The giving of it, the 360. All right, let's go to the. Oh, wait a minute, Dr. Ember, did you get to answer that part? I can't remember. I'm so sorry. I want to make sure.
It's fine. It's fine.
No, yes, it's your turn. Go ahead. I
um,
love you.
well, I love you too. Well, no,
I
I mean,
know Laszlo like, oh my goodness, here they go.
Yeah, seriously though, me too.
Like girlfriends right across the best
well,
friends.
Sure.
it's just true though, isn't it? It's just true. It's just you feel kind of what's happening. You feel that vibe with somebody. Now, the interesting thing, actually, I can tell you something really interesting. So,
Okay.
Islamically, we believe that essentially, and I may have said this to you before, Michelle, but
Okay.
if your soul, so before souls were put into their bodies, they were grouped together in different groups. And
Mm-hmm.
if basically then we put into our bodies and then we're on earth, and essentially souls that were grouped together before are attracted to each other. And the thing is, I feel that because sometimes, I mean, look at the way you and I have connected, right? It's just kind of
Yeah.
like, it's so natural, it's so wonderful. So I
But
absolutely agree with you. It's not the time. because you can spend a lot of time with someone, but you're just not that connected with them, whether it's at work or wherever.
Yeah,
And then you
sometimes
can
they
meet
just
someone, you know what, you get those friends where you don't speak to them that often, but when you
right.
do, you just fall straight back in as if there's been no separation at all. So I do
Mhm.
think it is totally about the vibe and,
Right.
and
I want to
how.
get, and I want to give a quick shout out to Audry. It's a great service for podcasters.
Um,
They the one introduced me and Dr. Emily. We should have each other on each other's show. So just a shout out to them right quick.
yeah, they were brilliant.
Yeah, but yeah, I totally agree with that. I think overall, you know in your heart
Mm,
how the person that you're interested in, to show them how you care about them and how you love them. And to me, it's really not about, I mean, of course, buying things and gifts and all of that and taking them here and there. That's wonderful. And I think Dr. Amber mentioned that earlier. To me, I think it's just the small things. If when you create memories, that's what lasts. And that's what will be
mm,
reinforced for the person that you love when they remember those small things and that you did. It could be just holding, just grabbing their hands in the sense when you're walking in public or not, when no one's around and you just holding their hands out of, this happens. I admit I'm a romantic, but nonetheless, I
mm.
think those small things matter. So that's my take on that. All right, let's go. We're going to move on to, and you know what, while I'm doing this, I forgot to ask Laszlo to share his great news. Go ahead, because you texted me about that the other day.
Yeah, absolutely. So I
Yay!
went to the marketplace and I bought some apples, and they were delicious.
That's was it. That's not it.
Yeah,
Tell
no.
everybody that's your great news.
Yeah, right. So, um, me and my fiance are getting married.
Yay!
Uh,
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
February 14th,
Oh,
Valentine's Day.
Monday.
Oh,
Wow.
Hmm.
So this
wow.
is your what do you call that? What you
Yeah,
call it?
stag
Bachelor,
do.
Bachelor?
Stag
bachelor,
do,
Yes.
something like that.
guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's exciting. It's nerve wracking getting things organized, um, but it's going to be a happy time, and like you said, build precious memories that's going to last forever. Um, but for me, I think I'm going to build a lot of memories.
I'm late for my
Um,
claps, y'all. Sorry.
that's okay. Okay.
Congratulations.
I'm going to
So go
build a lot
ahead.
of memories though, because so I'm going to have a party February 14th,
Ooh.
and then I'm going to have another party down
When?
in New York in about 5 months from now, and I'm
Oh.
taking the whole family down there, and we're going to spend about a week and a half or so.
Oh,
So
that'd
it's
be
like
nice.
two celebrations, so it's going to be really
Right.
awesome. And then
Oh.
planning on Hawaii and then Vietnam.
You going to
So a
Hawaii?
lot of
Y'all going to Hawaii for y'all honeymoon? Oh my goodness.
that's what we're planning, and then Vietnam. So
What? And you going to Vietnam? So you're just gonna be
yeah, it's gonna be good, but like I said, it's gonna
oh.
take a lot of planning. So
Have you, since we gotta put you on the spot then, so have you created your words that you want to say to your future wife
it's
on
kind
your
of
wedding
funny,
day? Have you wrote it
right?
yet?
I have not written it
You have
yet
not?
because
Okay.
I'm trying to find the right words, but I always feel like
This
if
is the
I just
show. This is the show.
right, I feel like though trying to find the right words of saying, yeah, this is it. How do I say I love you like eternally?
Yes.
So like
Because that's
it's
the day,
it's
Laszlo.
not
I mean,
easy
you
though.
gotta
It's not.
know
I'm
that
trying to
day.
find the right words, the perfect words, the perfect, you know.
You only got a few
And
days left.
but then I think about it. If I
I
and then
mean,
like five
you
five
really
five
was, you
minutes
really,
5 minutes
did
before
you
the
know?
ceremony, I just quickly write something.
Yes, but
All
I'm
right.
serious. Did you know in our last show, December the 11th, that you was going to do this and be
To
the
be honest,
eve of your wedding? Like, I'm still thinking on how I'm going to put my words together
to be
on my
honest,
wedding
no,
day.
no, not to be honest, no. But it's I
Really?
almost feel like if I just write it out and then read it, it doesn't it's not that special. It's like I'm rehearsing it. So I just kind of think and just have a rough idea of what I want to say, because when I proposed to her, same thing. I didn't have it planned out of what I was going to say, verbatim. I had an idea, and it came out perfectly.
Mm.
I feel like saying it on the spot with an idea, but not exactly. I feel like that brings out more emotion. So I'll write down like ideas on there, and then I'll say it. But obviously, we're gonna have it recorded, and then later I'll write it down, and then I'm planning on framing it.
So just to make sure
The
I'm
vow.
clear,
Yeah.
have you actually wrote the draft yet? What you want to say to her?
No,
When
not at
you're,
all. No.
don't you just love him? You just love. He's so
I've,
honest. He's so
I've
honest.
just
No, I
bought
haven't.
the vintage
Haven't wrote.
paper, the vintage
Ooh, now that's kind
parchment
of
paper.
romantic. So,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
you're
See,
gonna put it.
it is romantic
It's
because
romantic, but you got another big step, my brother. Where's the words? Are you gonna say to?
they're
What
they're
you gonna
on their
say to your
way.
future wife?
It's on the way. But
Uh, it's
I'm
48
gonna probably
hours.
say it in Vietnamese, to be honest.
Oh, then that's interesting. I
Yeah,
like
because
that.
I said it in Vietnamese when I proposed. So
You know
um,
what? If we go back to the beginning of my number one question, if you do something unique and different, that's what the takeaway. How can you say you love someone? Think of something that's unique and different. I like what you're doing with
absolutely,
that, putting on paper or what you're going to say. And then
absolutely.
presenting that to her is part of that, what we talked about in the second question. You know, I like to be organized in my podcast shows here to recap, make sure everybody's following, to create that memory. And that's the action that Dr. Amber mentioned that goes to with the behavior to reinforce what love is. So that's interesting. We just got to get your
It really
words.
is, though.
Are you going to make it
It
short or
really is.
long of how you're going to say to her?
Probably like in the middle. Actually, I sang to her in Vietnamese when I
Wait a minute.
proposed. So
Oh, you got to share this. Come on. You're saying when you proposed to her, you sang to her in
in
another
Vietnamese,
language?
yeah. See that?
Oh
Okay,
my
so that's the
God,
thing.
you
That's
made
the
me
thing.
cry.
I learned Vietnamese for her,
So sweet.
and that shows
Oh,
love right
What?
there.
that's
This is the
Yes.
show. Now you
So
got two strong women on here telling you that's how you do it.
that
If you're a
shows
male,
love right
listen to
there.
this.
That shows love
Yes.
right there. Okay,
You sang to her?
like
Oh my, what was the name of the
in Viet.
song? What's the name of the song? I put you on the
Okay.
spot.
Uh, let me see. Let me think.
Wow.
Okay, it's like
See, while you thinking of that, let me,
DAU.
what? D A
You
U.
can type DAUMAU.
Dr. Emma, could you type
Type
that? I'm kind of like
type that
multitasking with
on
these devices.
YouTube.
so. What was that? DAU? Do you want me to put it in the chat?
Yeah, put it in the
Yeah, and then
Podme chat.
DAUMAU.
And
Okay.
then I can repeat it, and hopefully those that are listening on Twitter, I repeat it.
Okay.
Oh, it's DAUMAU. And you sang
Yep,
that to her?
DAUM. I'm sorry, DAUMUA. I'm sorry,
Good.
my
Oh,
mistake.
okay.
Okay.
Yep,
All right.
and
So,
just type it on YouTube, and that's the one that pops up. The first one
oh,
pops up.
okay. So he said you can go on YouTube and it'll pop up. So it's spelled
MU.
DAUMUA.
Yeah.
Let me make sure. Say that one more time. Who's typing? Are you typing it?
I am typing
DA.
it up, and the
Okay.
projected text is changing it. I'll ignore that.
Okay. Sorry for the technical delay there,
There you
everybody that's
go.
listening. So it's
That's what I'm saying,
DAUMUA.
sister. You guys are correct.
DAUMUA. Go to YouTube and they can be able to see. I'm sorry, hear that song.
Yes, and there's lyrics on there, English
And it's
lyrics.
lyrics.
Yeah.
It's English. It's
So,
also
yep.
English that you can.
Yep.
So let me get this straight, because I'm a romantic. Okay, I could talk about this all day. So you said like, you know what? How I'm going to propose to this woman that I love in a way that she would know how I feel, which is basically the theme of the show. Based on what you mentioned in our last show, we should talk about this, how to say I love you. And you thought I should be able to sing the song. So you sang the song to her in the lyrics. What's your favorite, or what made you decide that's the song that's going to be part of both of your
Okay.
lives? What made
Right.
that decision?
So
Go ahead.
okay.
Ooh, I'm
So it
drinking
all
my
goes back.
my tea over here, Dr. Emma. This is getting
it
good.
all it all goes back when we first met
When you
because
first met.
I wanted to impress her by putting on a Vietnamese song. So I said, okay, I got to find the most romantic Vietnamese song that I can find. Very
Mm-hmm.
first one I found was that song, and I'm like, oh my God, it sounds wonderful. So I
Mm.
played this song the first time we met, and I said to myself that I'm going to learn this song. And one day, if I propose to her, I will sing this song to her. And then after multiple years, boom, I did it.
Oh my God.
I I sang her this song and I gave her a promise ring, a diamond promise ring, and I said the next time I sing this song, it's going to be an engagement ring. And then boom, yeah, it happened. That's how. Yep,
You
exactly,
gonna make me
just like that.
cry. So
Go
you
ahead,
already knew
cry.
the blueprint.
I knew the
You
blueprint
so you knew
because,
she was
like,
the one. That's basically what you're
yeah,
saying.
to be honest, when I met her, yes, and I don't know. I know it sounds cliche. I know it sounds weird, and
No, you
but
have to read
it's
my
just like
stories. You know what I'm no, I believe you. Go
literally
ahead.
like a feeling you get, and
Uh-huh.
it's like you just know this is the right
That
one.
soul feeling.
Just know
Yeah.
it. Um, and we watched the
That's
sunset go
beautiful.
down when we met. It was just like,
You gonna make me cry.
uh, and I made like customized hats because
Oh,
we have nicknames for each other, and that's
oh,
actually how we met because of those nicknames.
that's
That
another
nobody
way that
knows
you
yet.
can
So
say
it's very.
you can say I love you by coming up with a nickname for your boo.
I don't want to brag, but
Y'all came up with the best
my
ones.
I mean, my sister says that I'm the most romantic person, and I believe it is because I try
Yeah.
to do my best to make every little moment
Right.
better than what I did before. And I'm not talking
Right.
about money wise.
We just
Like
talked
we
about
discussed,
that.
it doesn't have
Right.
to be money. It's just how the person feels and how those memories are created.
Right.
Like
Repeat that one more time. Repeat that one more time so I can say to the audience this might not on Podbean. Say that one more
uh,
time. It
about
doesn't matter about the money. It's
it doesn't
just
matter
what
about
you
the money. It's how you create those moments and how
how
you
you
make them
create those
feel.
moments and make them feel. That's love. That's why you
Yeah.
say basically at the end of the day, I love you. You know? Wow. Cause you gotta walk me through this because I like this. Dr. M, I know you listening to you. Come on.
Yeah, that's gorgeous. I mean, I didn't want to interrupt. That is beautiful. That is
Yes.
beautiful.
Oh
Absolutely
yeah, yeah.
lovely.
I
Thoughtful.
literally took I bought like I don't know 20 roses, took off the petals of everyone, and wrote the
20
words "I
roses.
love you" in Vietnamese.
Wait a minute.
On
Hold on.
Yeah,
Wait a
this
minute. Come
I
on,
did
because
a
somebody may
lot
be
of
listening to
romantic
this.
stuff.
Let me just
A
break this
lot
down.
of
You gotta write a
romantic
book
stuff.
about this. Okay. So
Yeah.
I just want to I like to kind of
By the way, we're 1,000 miles apart, so I moved here
oh
too. So there's a
my God.
lot of stuff to it.
Oh, this is
Yep.
good. I'm pouring me some more tea. Okay, so just want to make sure I got this right.
Uh,
um, so you say, okay, I'm going to. This is when you want to propose to her. That's what you're talking about. When you bought the 20 roses and you took the petals and you said
no, that was when I actually
started dating.
yeah, well, not okay.
Yeah, just start.
So
When did you do that? The roses
okay,
that you.
I did that when I visited Tennessee for a week and a half.
Oh, when you spent time with
Because
her. We talked about that, everybody.
yeah, so
It's
I
got to
wanted
been
to
that
say
quality
I
time.
love you, and I said it that way with candles,
Oh,
roses, and music.
I got to
And
keep up with
it's
this.
funny
Okay,
because I told
because I
her
got to recap.
today. I told her today was the last day, and then I'm flying back to New
Mm-hmm.
York. So she was crying on my shoulder while we were
Oh,
dancing after.
wait a
And then
minute. Wait a
I
minute.
looked at
You
her. I looked
dance
at,
too?
yeah,
You
of
dance
course,
with the.
have
You know,
to
I had that in my side note that I'm going to mention it. Is that that's another way you can show when you love someone. When you
dance
take
it.
those moments and you just say, you know what, let's dance. It doesn't have to be at a particular place. It could be where you're at, like where you know, where you live, or just you and that two people. And man, like,
So here's the funny part.
this is
After she
good.
was done crying, I looked her in the eyes and said, "I'm only kidding. I booked a couple more days, so I'm staying longer."
God.
And she
What
was
have
like
me
so
cry?
happy.
This is
So
better than
she was so happy.
Hallmark. What do you call it? Is it Hallmark? specials when they have.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Okay, I gotta recap for everybody that's is in one place, not the other. So the roses that you said that you use, which was the petals, and you use "I love you," but you wrote that in what you call what language that was?
Vietnamese, yeah.
Vietnamese. You did
Yeah.
that just for this weekend, or
Just
you
for
did
that
that
week, yeah.
just for that week when you decided to spend time with her. This is leading up to you proposing to her,
This is leading up to
getting
the
married.
promise ring and then
Oh, leading
proposing
up to the
later in the
promise ring.
right.
Okay,
The
so
promise
leading up.
ring was also very beautiful too.
Okay, so
So,
I got to keep up with it. So the
right.
roses, because and you got so many goodies, and I
Roses.
love a
For
table of
Valentine's Day,
food.
I brought her like 100 roses for Valentine's Day.
Hold on one second, because
This
you
other
got so
time,
much I gotta get into there,
yeah,
and I'm trying my
it's
best
a
to pour
lot.
another cup of tea on this.
Couple,
This is good stuff. So the roses,
yep.
you decide to do that action leading up to the promise ring to marry her. Is that correct?
The promise ring to tell her that you're the only one for me, that kind of stuff.
That
And
she's the
then,
only one for me.
right.
Okay. So what you did was you took 20 roses, you took the petals
Hmm.
and wrote I love you in Vietnamese. Is that correct?
Correct. That's
And
correct.
what
Yep.
did you say after that? You said something else, and after that you did something else. I can't remember.
Yeah,
Because that's
we
romantic.
danced together. We
And
danced
y'all
together
danced
with music.
together
And
with
I told
music.
her that I was going to leave after tonight.
Okay.
But after she was done crying on my shoulder while we were dancing, so my
Um,
shirt was all wet on the shoulder part. But
mm-hmm.
and then I just told her I was only kidding. I
Um,
stayed for a couple more days.
and you stayed a
So
couple more days.
yeah,
Oh, that surprise. I like that. When they
yeah.
say, "Oh,
Very
it's
sweet.
only yeah, I'm only going to be able to be here tonight." After you've done
Hmm.
something like that, so romantic, and then or today, what have you? Just have this weekend to spend time together. Like, nah, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
It makes it very interesting. Oh, that's so sweet. Oh, you got
But
some good
yeah,
goodies.
it really is the little things though.
The
Like
little things, yeah.
sometimes I send her, 6 roses while she's at work, and
You send her
I love
flowers. I love flowers. You
just
send her flowers at work.
randomly for no reason,
Randall, yeah, that's a good
just
way
random stuff.
too. Just to touch on that, that's a good way too to show that you love someone. You do something that they don't expect.
Exactly.
That opens up, oh my gosh, this person really care about me, or they really thinking about me. And it could be vice versa. It could be the woman doing something randomly for the man that he doesn't expect. And he's like, oh, I'll be thinking about me. You know what I mean? Thinking about me can reinforce how the person love you. So, oh my gosh, that is so romantic. Okay. I lost my train of thought. You got so many goodies.
I got a
Laszlo, oh
lot
my
more,
goodness.
but I want Dr. Amber to talk too.
Dr. Amber, do you want to add to any of
Absolutely.
that?
I
Go
was
ahead.
listening to that and just absorbing it. It's beautiful. I mean, wow.
I
Wow.
know.
That's like, I think that is so beautiful. And that's from the heart. As you say,
That's from the heart.
it's
Yes.
the gesture. I mean,
The
most
gesture.
girls, that's what they want. It's kind of like we just want flowers and we just want that sincerity. It's not about kind of big, kind of, flashy, this, that, the other. It's the simple things, holding hands, walk, and the emotion. That's lovely.
Right, right.
It's lovely.
All right. Let's go to number 3. The last question here before we do our round table is what is truly loving someone in a balanced way? I think let's go first on that one. I think when you love someone in a balanced way, that we kind of touched on, we said some of those words earlier today. It's just about showing the respect that the other person needs, and in that you're loving them because you're nurturing. I think you had mentioned this too, Laszlo, but in the sense of like your parents or something like that. It's a balance of that and of learning to interact with one another and understanding their need. So you're not overtaking, right? Sometimes you have to be the giver at one time at one point and then vice versa. So you're balancing that out. So I think when you love someone in a balanced way, it's just, we have our good days and we have our bad days, but we kind of balance it out like by the end of the week or by the end of that day or the end of the discussion where we're at different odds, but we respect one another. So I think with that, that's how I will kind of stand on the position. That's how you can love someone, and it's a healthy love, right? Anything else, I don't like to say it's love. I just say it's just an unhealthy connection in that sense. But to think on the positive side, especially with this weekend leading up to Valentine's Day, and
Mm.
my colleague here, Laszlo, this said he's getting married on Valentine's Day and shared us all his goodies, how he do it. And if you want to connect with Laszlo, you on LinkedIn, right? You might help some, maybe can help some
I
brothers that might be. I
I
need
am
some
definitely
ideas.
on LinkedIn. Yeah, I'm definitely on
Okay.
LinkedIn. Yep.
Yeah, so definitely hook up with you got to type your link ID in the pod medium, and I'll put it on my Twitter. If you was looking for some ideas, and because he wrote a whole bunch, can help you with that. But
I
nevertheless,
got a
my
lot of
answer would,
ideas. Yeah.
oh yes.
Mhm.
But that's what I would say. So I'm gonna go ahead and pass it on to Dr. Amber. What do you think?
About what? Sorry, what do you
What is truly loving someone in a balanced way?
I think it's quite, yeah, I'm sorry, I thought we were going
I
back to
know,
Laszlo's
I
wonderful
know. You was
gestures.
still, you was still can't believe what all he
We're
was giving. Yeah,
starry-eyed, we're
I
starry-eyed.
know. I ran out of tea. I had to give me some more tea.
I mean, that's an interesting question, isn't it? How to love someone in the balanced way. I think if you've got a healthy relationship and it is just, I guess, give and take, that's where kind of that balance comes in, and you fill each other's, I like to call it filling each other's, cracks in each other's souls. So it's just
Mm,
about that TLC, that tender loving care, and just, yeah, just, I guess, just listening and being open to, not having that preconceived notion of what that person's going to be like. So that if they want to change or grow, just to do things together, grow together, really. So,
right, I agree. What about you, Laszlo?
Same thing as you guys said. I mean, there's the good, there's the bad. I mean, you can't have one without the other.
Right,
And I feel like it's how you handle it that really, I mean, yin and yang, right? That's balanced. I mean, you can't just have yin, you can't just have yang, right? So you
right,
can't just have good and you can't just have bad. You have to have both. But if you truly love someone, you'll know how to handle those good times and those bad times. And those bad times won't affect the deep love you have for each other. So
right.
one thing, for example, is what we discussed is if we ever have bad times, and we've had some bad times, but nothing crazy that would destroy us. And anytime we would have a bad time, rather than argue about it, yelling at each other, hurt each other, and some people they only know how to do it that way.
Mm,
We said, let's sit down, let's talk, and let's figure it out and find a solution so we can get back to the good times.
right. Get back to the good times.
Right. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, to me, the balance, to be in balance is, um, it's like one of those seesaws, back in the day. I don't know. I'm
mm,
saying it
Yeah, I
right,
know what you're
but
talking about. Yes, he
yeah.
sounds. Yeah.
And you got to get in the right type position. Sometimes it's up, sometimes it's down, but eventually you can be leveled. And I think that's life. And I think that once you respect one another, what my guests is two guests had shared, it all works together. When you show that you care by the small things that you do, it's not really about the money because money can come and go, but it's
absolutely.
about the moments that you choose to spend with the person that you feel that you love. That's saying it. And
Mm.
you can do it with so many different ways. And I love how Laszlo, you can help a lot of people, man. I mean, I'm serious. You had a list of things that, like, oh, this is good. How you showed your future wife how much you loved her. You definitely showed consistency, and I know that's hard for a lot of people. You just get to that point where that's when I'm feeling. That's when I'm committed to. I think that's the word commitment to me in a relationship. And again, it's not really overall what you have because you're not taking, you're giving, and that person is doing the same thing. So therefore, everybody's receiving. And it could be a up and it could be a down. It could be a sad day. It could be a happy day or what have you. But you choosing to spend that time. And when you have respect, that's the foundation of love. So you are saying it, in that way. That's the action. That's the behavior. That's so when you do say it, you won't be like, ah. Do you really mean it? You be saying, "Oh, I know that you love me." It's the moments that you create. So, but anyhow, so wherever we are on our journey, if you're getting married and taking this big step like Laszlo is doing on Monday, if you're dating and you're trying to like, this might be it, or I'm with this journey with this person and wherever it leads me, or if you're single and you're humbly seeking, or you're just single and you're okay with that, that's saying that you love you and enough that you know what your worth is. That I don't want to, put my podcast out there, but that's what I teach about on my Surviving Your Journey. That's what Dr. Amber teaches about on her show. And that's what Laszlo, a motivational speaker, teaches it as well. But we're actually just sharing our personal experiences and our thoughts and our perspective. So we're kind of going raw with it and happy with that because it's okay. It's okay, whatever journey that we're on right now. The takeaway today of this podcast that I'm going to be end up closing out. I'm about over my time that I planned, but it was a good conversation just to have. What is and how can we say I love you and we feel good about it? We're not embarrassed about it. We're not ashamed. We're not stressed out. We're comfortable with it. And whatever outcome that comes from that, from the other person or thereafter, we're okay. That's what life is. We get to that point that I'm okay. I feel good about it. And with that, I think that's a good thing. I just want to honor the positive vibration. When I think of love, I think it as a giving type spirit. I think it's as a giving type vibration. And when we honor that, we're just a happy person. And we want to make the person we with happy as well, be with someone else. So, but anyhow, I want to be able to close this out. I had two more questions, but Laszlo, man, you gave so many goodies. I had to kind of push it to the side.
I'm sorry about that.
No, I really do. And I wish you the best with your future wife. And I'm thinking you're doing wonderfully. Man, you got to write a book about that. How do you do it?
Actually,
How do you,
I did.
you, you did.
Well,
You got to put the
well,
title of the book in the chat.
okay. Well, not quite yet. It's not
Oh,
finished. But
you're
okay. So
working on it.
I wrote one book
Okay.
of how we met, but I gave it to her as a Christmas gift. So and
Oh,
yeah,
let me make sure
right.
because you got so many goodies. And if someone's listening on Twitter and not able to listen on Podbean, you said you wrote a book. How? What was the title again? How? Say that again.
How we met.
How we
How we
met.
met.
You wrote a book, and it's
Yes.
titled How We Met. Are you
Yeah,
kidding me?
but it's only 20 pages. So
It doesn't matter. Do you know how hard sometimes to get a mail? Not to say all. Um, you wrote a book about how you met. Are you
yeah,
kidding
and
me?
I'm gonna write more, but this was like
That's how you can
uh,
say when you're 40, like maybe say you're in a marriage, not to cut in right quick, but just to kind of hold on that thought. You've been in a relationship for a long time, you running out of ideas. Last of like, oh, hold my beer, let me tell you. Write a book to say how you met and how you felt about that. That's basically what your book was
yeah,
about.
yeah,
Wow.
that's exactly what it was.
Talk to Emma, you quiet. Are you speechless over there?
I think it's amazing. In fact, I think you should make a movie, quite frankly. I'm
I
thinking about
haven't
putting
thought
the
about that.
Seattle. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
That was coming to mind, and you've got mail. Those things were coming to mind as Laszlo was talking.
It needs to be a movie. It needs to
Okay,
be
okay.
on
You
Hallmark.
guys, you guys
This,
want to know
this is a
something?
Hallmark special, I tell
You
you.
guys want to know something?
What?
Okay, so one thing perhaps you may or may not know about me is I love movies more than probably anyone. And I've
Oh
watched
my
so
goodness.
many romantic movies, American, Vietnamese, Chinese, Korean,
Really?
Japanese.
I love
And I wrote notes about what they did.
yeah.
And I
So you
said, one
use
day I'm going to
romantic
treat
movies
this,
to give you the inspiration, add it to
well,
your own creativity, how you want to
added to my
express that
own
you love that
creativity, but
person.
exactly. But I also
Mhm.
watched how they interacted, how they um, figured out the solutions. What were the problems in those movies that they
Yeah.
had? I mean, I really wanted to treat the woman I'm going to spend my life with the absolute best way.
That's fantastic.
Oh. So
So
that's good for someone that
I
might
live,
be
yeah.
shy. You use
Seriously,
movies in a way to kind of help
movies.
you to connect, romantic movies of how to show that you love that person and you were observing the reaction and how you can respond to show that's the person that you want to spend the rest of your life with, or that's the person that you're interested in starting that journey to decide or what have you, and to experience that. Wow. That could be for someone in the beginning that's, okay, I'm really shy. I don't really want to say that, but that's how I feel. And then maybe someone that actually can say it and willing to say it, the way you go from there. So sometimes you're saying that you use romantic movies to give you that insight. You basically was researching this, Laszlo. Is that what you basically saying?
Well,
You was
I mean,
researching?
not recently or anything, but like years
Yeah.
ago, yeah, absolutely. I mean,
That's
to
a good
this day,
idea.
I still watch romantic movies, but it's not easy to find because I've watched so many. Um,
Hmm.
so
Try some Indian movies, Laszlo. Try some
okay,
Indian movies.
I have not watched Indian movies yet. Okay,
Go
but I
to
have watched.
Bollywood. Go to Bollywood. You'll
Oh
see
yeah.
many people running around a rose bush singing.
You know
That's
what? It's
Oh,
a
really?
good friend of mine on Twitter, and she watched. I think she watched those Bollywood movies.
I'll have to take a
Yeah.
look.
Yeah. It's very popular there. I need to get into it.
yeah.
Anyway. Oh, that's so sweet.
It is. It's very cute.
Oh
Very
my goodness. Well,
Yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. It was another question I think I had. I was just going to say if you had to. Nah, I think that'd be to our next show. I'm going to do another live show.
cute.
Yeah, I got to come up with a topic. I'm thinking it's going to be in July.
Sounds good.
You
Summer.
know, summer,
July.
Yeah.
summer love, summer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We could find out about Laszlo's honeymoon and
Oh,
how it
yes.
all
Oh
went.
yeah,
Because
yeah,
by then you would have already went to Hawaii, right?
Yeah.
We could be
yeah.
able to-
Wait,
and
you
then I
said
can
July,
eventually
right?
get. Yeah, July. I think it's going to be July the 16th. My next live show. Talking about relationship. I was thinking about summer love. What you doing?
Okay, July 16th. That's gonna be.
Saturday.
I'm gonna be in New York, and
Ooh,
then
so you won't be able.
after. No. I can make it.
You can
I'm
log on.
saying in
Okay.
that time period, I'll be in New York, but then after that, then the
What?
honeymoon comes.
Oh, well, when is the honeymoon?
That we haven't planned. We'll just be
Oh,
talking
okay.
about. Yeah.
But you got something planned in New York after what you told us how you do it, because you do it. You go all
We got
out.
some big plans. I got some big
Oh,
plans.
so you could talk about that, right?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I figured
Okay,
ahead of
how
time.
you can show you love someone when you're in New York City.
Oh, yeah, exactly. It's
All
called New
right.
York Love.
You call it New York love? Okay, so I got to say, okay, this is Georgia love down here because I'm in Georgia. And then we have Dr. Amber, she's in the UK. So we all, oh, you know what? Dr. Amber, you didn't get to share. You said you wanted to share something.
Do you know, I'll be
Oh, I'm
totally
sorry.
honest with you, Nichelle. I'll be
You,
totally honest. It
what?
wasn't actually me. It was about one of my friends, but I can't actually remember which part it was because
You forgot.
because at the time I was like, oh my god, but I was helping one of my friends and I think he's found love. So
Oh.
July would be a good time for like an update. So but it was really funny because
So he found love. That's what you're saying. Your friend.
yeah, but I was excited because I was kind of coaching him. So but the funny
Oh,
thing is
he
that
got to come on the show.
it was so funny. He won't come on the show, but do you know what? It was
Aw.
really, really good. It was so funny because basically, I'll just give you a quick synopsis. There was
Okay.
like a person that was not right for them, and I was like, "This is not right for you. This is not
Mhm.
right for you." And they were just like, "No, no, it is, it is." And I know why they were saying that. And I said, because the whole pandemic, we've been in lockdown and things, and I was like, "That's the only person you have seen that
Mm.
you think it's love. It's not love."
Mm.
Anyway, thank God, things came to light. So anyway, so he moved on, and I encouraged it anyway. And he's met somebody that now I think is suitable.
More his match.
So
Okay.
yeah, so I'm really pleased about that. But it's early days, so
Oh, okay.
but I was quite
Yeah.
excited about that.
So you're going to have to come back and return back and share that in July.
What's been happening? Yeah.
Yeah, I see what's been happening. Okay, so that's the recap. I might have another show of this talking about love, summer love. July. We're looking at July the 16th, Saturday. The time,
You said
I guess we
Summer
could.
Love?
Well, it's summertime, so just do love in there, right there.
Isn't that a song?
It's Is it Summer Love a song?
Happened so fast.
Yeah, yeah,
It is.
Grease, come on, Grease, come
yeah,
on.
That is a
yeah.
Summer Love. Oh my goodness. Where it's summer and we're talking about love. It's not the same thing, Laszlo. Speaking of which, I
Okay,
want to show listen to a clip of my song. Did I tell you, Dr. Amber, I wrote a song?
No,
you wrote a
I saw
song?
that on the thing, on the
I
brief.
didn't see
Yes.
that.
So, yeah,
Yes,
you
I'm
did
gonna release
say it.
it during the spring. Oh, let me see if I can do that. Hold on one second.
Play-
This I'm gonna
I
release it
talented.
springtime
Okay.
for my production all. So let me see if I can pull it up.
Yeah. Just a snippet.
Just a snippet.
Yeah.
I love you. Girl, we like sisters, but we just
I
got
know.
separated during birth. I know that's like, oh my gosh. Here they go.
Yes.
Okay, I'm just gonna play the first few moments
Yeah.
of it. It's
Okay.
R&B. I gotta set it up. It's an R&B song because I love Egypt. But anyway, it's really a modern day type talking about respecting one another and
Yeah.
remembering. Like it's kind of like you had a relationship, you was on a journey, and then for whatever reason we had to go our separate ways to kind of explore different things. To kind
Yeah.
of just sometimes separation is kind of good to kind of reinforce, or it's just a way to remember. Like maybe like we talked about that seesaw in a relationship, keeping that balance and then finally finding that good point in our lives that we're connecting and we're sailing. And so
Mm.
anyway, it's an R&B. I am on the track, y'all.
Okay. Okay.
That's why I'm so excited. It's my first song. Anyway, but it's a love song. It's an R&B song. I am on the track later. I'm not going to play that part, and I do have like some rap coming at the end. It's very good, I have to say. It's very nice. So anyway, but the beginning, I'm just going to play the first where it's like a duet between a man and a woman. So hold on one second. Let me just kind of play it. Hopefully you can hear this. Let me see. Hold on.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, I'm sounding like Dr. Amber. Oh, here we go. Hold on one second. Can y'all hear that?
Yeah.
Yep.
Love was divine. We know of respect. Our souls knew of the moments will last forever in our hearts. When all our love is true, because you lied up, I was best of people.
Good. Sounds good.
Everlasting when was divine. Talking to the next door, opened up my heart to love you. And you are my king forevermore. Yeah, always you bring the best in all union of two. Sometimes our path was unclear, but through grace, ancient timelines, it's all remember. Hope eternity bring us together when love was my river of hope, and the ancestry of vibrations, always meant to be, into you is everlasting. Through grace and giving, found our souls in peace to remember the times before in Nazarene. All right, that's it, y'all. I wrote the lyrics,
Amazing.
and
You've
I
got
come
such
in
a
like towards the
voice.
end.
Yeah.
Huh?
Oh, lovely voice.
Yeah. Thank you.
Oh,
I'm gonna have a lyrics video of it later, but yeah.
very exciting. Exciting
I wrote that. I
time.
wrote. I wrote that title like over almost 7 years ago. I wrote the title of the song. I had to design what I wanted to be, so it took me
Yeah.
this long to kind of focus on it. to get the people I want to sing it, and then I'm gonna come in like in my spoken word. I do sing just a little bit when I come in, and then I have the rapper come in, and then we kind of end it with harmonies. When Love Was Divine.
Who was I listening to then? I thought that
Those
was
was
you.
two. Oh no, it's gonna take me some
Yeah, I
time to
thought
be
that
able to
was
sing like
you.
that. No, that
Oh,
was
okay.
yeah, I composed it, but the most of the two singers are singers that I collaborate with to sing my lyrics, and
Oh,
then
okay.
I'm gonna come in
Everything. Yeah.
like almost towards the end, doing my spoken word, and I kind of like sing like a few words, but not a lot, and then the rap comes in, and then he said his verse, and then at the end we all singing like harmonies to end it. You know, love is meant for the divinity in us, and what I meant by that when I wrote it is that we all we're all here to experience life, but
Mm.
also the best in life. And so once you know who you are and you can love yourself in a very healthy and balanced way, yourself first. Because to me, if you don't know what your needs are and what how to care for yourself, it's hard for you to communicate that to someone that you want to share with. So when we understand, and with me, with my belief or what have you, the divinity of us, a connection to a higher source will give you that stability that you can love someone else, and therefore you can you can communicate better. So, and it was like in the beginning, he says a line before she says something that we took our separate paths. So sometimes we, like I mentioned earlier, we can separate or we can be together, or sometimes we just meeting up. And when it's in that beginning, that new love. I think Dr. Amy, you mentioned your friend, it's the beginning.
Yes,
Um,
yes, it is.
and then you kind of find one another. So he comes in with the line I wanted to say, but through grace. To me, through grace is prayer, meditation for clarity, for understanding. So that's the line that I wanted to come in when she starts it by saying, you know, sometimes we had to take our separate path, you know, finding our own self. So she says that line, she sings that line, and then he comes in and say, but through grace, we're able to basically to achieve a greater things, and you know, together. And then so it's a line that he says, the union, the two of us, he kind of goes more deeper into that as well. So I'm a romantic, but I just think with relationships, it's all about communication and trusting in the source that defines who you are, and then therefore defines the other person that you choose to be with. And that's remembering that understanding of that is when love was divine. So anyway, that's my song, y'all. That just, you know,
Congratulations. It's lovely.
thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you. All right. So that wraps it up. I am so happy that Dr. Amber, I know it's what's like 8 o'clock over there, going on
Uh,
9.
yeah, it's almost 9 o'clock now.
I appreciate you staying late on my podcast show. And we got to do this again. And Laszlo, you the man. You know to handle us. Like, hold on, ladies. Let me tell you this story. This how you do it. I'm going to help you and help the males that's
Honestly,
listening.
yeah, that's true.
See, he's so honest. He's so honest. You know what's wonderful when you in a relationship? When you have someone that you're with and they're honest.
Yeah.
I
That's
have to
the
be. I have
best.
to be.
Oh my gosh, that's the best thing. Okay, so we're gonna wrap this up. Thank you so much for those that joined me. Here is it Flyers to Cheek. I'm gonna mess that up. Thank you so much for your prayers and coming. I see Moody. I think if I'm saying it right. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm gonna have another live show in July. We're kind of talking about it. My guest here is going to be July the 16th, same time, 2:30 Eastern time. I wish everyone a very happy and blessed day and wonderful weekend, and happy Valentine's Day. And Laszlo, congratulations. You're about to
Thank
do
you.
it, my brother. I wish you nothing but the best. Okay, wait a minute. Let me do my little special face over here. Give you a clap over here. Um, Thank you so much. And I wish you the best of luck with you and your future wife. Many blessings. All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank
Bye, you
you.
guys. See you next
Bye.
time,
Bye.
guys.
Bye. Bye.
See you
Bye.
next time.